Good morning guys and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is dedicated to those who are new to Lathe. Well, the video is also linked to a short that you may have seen where I show you this image and I say ouch, 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 ouch. What's going on to try to get an answer from you. I haven't looked at the answers for a while, I'll tell you honestly, but this is a problem that obviously a lathe operator with a few years behind them can solve quickly, but I'm a consultant. I'm a trainer, and I often find myself dealing with companies that have lathes but don't have lathe operators because maybe the tool maker they grew up with got a better offer or retired and couldn't find a replacement or didn't teach. I'm here to tell the ears of all those who don't teach. As a result, I find myself with companies that maybe have the structure, the CAD, the CAM, the machine tools, but then when faced with a small problem, because this is a small problem, they give up. Well, a customer calls me and says, I turn the clamps. As you can see, the clamps have been turned here. The clamping is good, the piece doesn't move, but there's some oomph. Take a look since we're talking about roughing so I can continue working. Obviously, the first thing I do is, well, I look at the piece which, all things considered, is made of two intersecting borings on the inside. It's not out of centric with them. Then I arm myself with a comparator. Look at what happens here. He says, I turn the clamps 3 or 4 times, but the result is always the same. Well, the piece doesn't turn straight. It doesn't turn straight, doesn't turn concentric with respect to the clamps. In reality, what the customer tells me about the piece is not correct. If you look, let's see. Well, you can't slow it down like that. Clamp 1 is at mid-O, clamp 2 is back at 0 high low, clamp 3 is back at 0 G all, but it is at 30, let's say E low, in the middle of the clamps. This is not a problem of turning the clamps, but of making the clamps. And the pressure, however, you can't reduce the pressure that much on a piece like this that measures 170 in diameter and protrudes 250. We would have had to, and this is what we'll do, either take clamps, let's say, that wrap around, or turn these clamps, turn a ring, cut it into 3 sectors with the flexible, and then make a 8-band, a wrapping ring that closes on the piece, dividing the forces. And ensuring that there is no what is called triangularization of the piece, because but if you go and measure it here, the piece is perfectly round, at least less triangular, because obviously the deformation increases as I get closer to the clamps. So be careful not to confuse clamps that turn crooked 80, which need to be turned, with clamps that triangularize the piece. Because in this case there is a hole inside and the thickness of the tube, let's say, is only 10 millimeters LQ. We tighten to 18 atmospheres and therefore we manage, despite the fact that we are talking about an alloy steel, to deform the piece. So this is a very trivial problem due to the fact that the piece does not simply have to be clamped big jaws, but it has to be tightened properly. But no, I always tell you, it is very easy to learn to program. It is much more complicated to manage the machine, and this is a very trivial problem, solvable with extreme triviality. Well, having had the opportunity to take those 30 seconds to film what the behavior of the comparator, I thought it would be no harm to anyone to share this trivial thing. I thank you for being with me, as always. If you like my content, and I invite you to support the channel with the methods you find in the description. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.